hidden side of Greenland. Close your eyes and imagine silence. Not the silence of a room, but of an entire world. Now open them. Welcome to Greenland, but not the Greenland you think you know. This is where the Arctic elite escape. And in today's video, we're going deeper than the ice, beyond the myths, into a hidden world of luxury, secrets, and stories that only a few ever experience. Chapter 1. Arrival in the Land of Ice and Fire. Entering Greenland, where the journey transforms you. There's a place where the sky meets ice, where silence greets you like an old friend. And when your feet finally touch the frozen ground, you don't feel cold, you feel something else. You don't just land in Greenland, you arrive. And suddenly, everything that felt heavy back home, it melts. The first breath here is unforgettable. It's not just air, it's untouched. Cold, clear, alive. You feel it in your lungs, like the Earth's oldest memory. What would you notice first? The silence, the space, or the fact that there's no rush, no noise. Just now? From here the roads disappear. The only way forward is by snow. It feels like driving across the moon, and every direction looks the same until it doesn't. And there it is. Your first glimpse of Arctic luxury. Not flashy, not loud, but elegant, elemental. Greenland is the world's largest island, yet fewer than 60,000 people live here. 80% is covered in ice, some of it over 10,000 years old. That means the ground you're crossing, it's older than the pyramids, older than Rome. And yet, you've probably never seen it like this. You arrive not to a lobby, but a sanctuary. No reception desk, no chaos, just warm light, soft textures, and someone who knows your name without ever asking. You settle in, and before you know it, you're not a visitor anymore. You're a part of the quiet, a part of the Arctic. And just when you think you've seen the best of it, the night falls, and the sky begins to move. No photograph could prepare you for this. The aurora doesn't just appear, dances, flirts, vanishes, and returns. And while the world sleeps, you stay awake, watching the sky, remember how to dream. Chapter 2. Ice Palaces and Hidden Havens. Experiencing Greenland's secluded luxury. Lodges carved from silence and light. Out here, there are no castles. But there are palaces, made not of marble, but of ice, light, stillness, space. Welcome to the hidden havens of Greenland. Imagine waking up and the sky is glowing green. Not a dream, not a screensaver, just your ceiling and the universe dancing above it. Amazing facts. The northern lights are caused by solar particles colliding with Earth's magnetic field more than 100 kilometers above your head. In Greenland, they're visible more than 300 nights a year, and in some parts of winter, the sun doesn't rise for weeks. Here, darkness becomes the new luxury. And when it's time to rest, you don't just retreat, you submerge into warmth, into solitude. Every detail here was made not to impress, but to embrace. This isn't opulence the way you know it. This is something else. Simplicity perfected. If you were here right now, would you lie beneath the aurora, wrapped in wool and peace? Or would you wander through the snow just to hear how quiet the world can be? There are no souvenir shops here, but you'll leave with something deeper. A kind of memory you don't show, you feel. Hidden beneath the surface lies a sanctuary few will ever see. An ice cave cathedral, walls like frozen sapphire, and silence so complete it hums. And yes, this is real. This is where peace is born. Arctic luxury fact. Matter of fact, here in Greenland, spa treatments aren't just skin deep. Some include hot stones pulled from volcanic ridges, or melted glacier water aged over 1,000 years. Every element, untouched by industry. Every ritual, inspired by the land. You begin to notice things. How time no longer ticks. How breath moves slower, clears. How your mind. This is what luxury sounds like when it finally learns how to whisper. Chapter 3. The Silence of the Arctic. Deep immersion in Greenland's soundless wilderness, where quiet becomes a luxury. Somewhere between the mountains and the sky, there is a silence you've never heard before. A silence so complete, it almost speaks. It's not empty, it's full. Of stories the earth has kept to itself, until now. Amazing facts. Greenland is home to the second largest ice body in the world. Honorly Antarctica holds more, Its glaciers move, but silently. Some advance just a few centimeters a day. Others break away in thunderous cracks, echoing across the land like distant war drums. But even those moments are rare. Here, silence reigns, and that silence becomes a mirror. What would you hear in this kind of quiet? Your heartbeat, your breath, or your thoughts finally slowing down? There are no paths her only direction. No GPS. Only the wind. Only instinct. And suddenly, the land moves. A shadow becomes a creature. A hill becomes a breath. In Greenland, wildlife doesn't announce itself. You learn to look closer, to notice the twitch of a snow hare's ear, or the way a muskox seems to appear from stone. They were here before us. Long after we're gone, they'll still be listening to the same silence. No internet, no TV, just a crackling stove, a warm bed, and the softest quiet in the world. That's the secret of Greenland. It doesn't shout to be heard. It waits until you're finally listening. Arctic state of mind. In the stillness, start to remember things. That time isn't your enemy. That not every moment needs filling. That you don't have to do anything to be worthy of peace. In Greenland, silence isn't the absence of sound. It's the presence of meaning. A presence so ancient, so clear, it changes you. Chapter 4. Glacial Adventures and Gentle Extremes. Experiencing thrilling yet elegant Arctic adventures, nature's raw power made graceful. Luxury isn't always stillness. Sometimes it's motion. Sometimes it's adrenaline. And here in Greenland, even adventure is dressed in elegance. Have you ever skied where no one has before? Here, that's not a fantasy. It's a Tuesday. Extreme, but soft. You're not here to compete. The rush of glacier wind on your face. The weightless glide of powder underfoot. No crowds, no ski lifts. Just you. Slowing down, Amazing glacier facts. The ice you're walking on today began falling as snow over 100,000 years ago. It compressed, hardened, and now it flows like a frozen river. Beneath your feet, some of it moves, barely perceptibly, toward the sea. And when you stand on it, you're standing on history. Older than words. Deeper than memory. If you had the chance to fly above this landscape, would you? Would you hover over ice cliffs, trace fjords by air, and land where no trail exists? Beneath the surface, into the veins of the glacier itself. You walk between layers of frozen time, each shade of blue, deeper, each breath, colder, each step closer to wonder. Adventures here aren't just about speed. They're about sensation, about contrast. You've climbed a glacier. Now, your reward is silence, heat, restoration. Out here, extremes don't overwhelm you. They soothe you. They remind you what it means to be alive. Chapter 5. Arctic Cuisine. Tasting the Ice. A sensory journey through Greenland's rare and refined culinary landscape. Ancient flavors elevated into art. You didn't come to Greenland for the food, but you'll leave remembering the taste. Because out here, even the ice has flavor. Welcome to a place where cuisine is crafted not from abundance, but from precision, from survival, from stories passed through fire, stone, and snow. The elegance of elemental cuisine. This is not food as you know it. It's elemental, minimal, but unforgettable. Every flavor tells of hardship and heritage. Every bite remembers the old ways. Amazing culinary facts. In Greenland, food was survival. No farms, no imports, just the land, the sea. And what could be preserved through ingenuity? Fermentation, smoking, wind drying, these were not trends. They were lifelines. Now, those traditions are honored, refined, transformed. If a plate was placed before you, and it held something unfamiliar, whale skin, seaweed butter, air-dried muskox, would you try it? luxury here isn't imported, it's hunted. Gathered, grown by the land's own slow hand. Nothing is wasted. Everything is honored. Infusions and glacial wines. You drink the mountains here, literally. This tea was steeped with thousand-year-old water, filtered by time, touched by no hand but nature. Even the wine is wild, made not in vineyards, but in valleys, where fruit fights to grow, and so tastes stronger for it. You came here expecting snow and found flavor, found stories, found nourishment for body and soul. Chapter 6. Night in Greenland, a surreal shift, where the landscape transforms into a dream of silence, shadow, and shimmering light. When night comes to Greenland, it doesn't arrive like it does anywhere else. It drifts in like a secret. And the land. It doesn't sleep. It reveals itself, the Arctic night. Out here, night is more than dark. It's layered. It hums with cold and wonder. And when the wind dies, you can hear the earth exhale. Amazing Arctic light facts. The northern lights are born from solar storms, violent bursts from the sun striking Earth's magnetic field in Greenland. And in that moment, the sky stops being sky. It becomes theater. Arctic nightlife redefined. You won't find nightclubs here, but you will find the rhythm of conversation, the warmth of cocoa brewed with cinnamon and glacial ice, the kind of intimacy only cold and stars can create. Sometimes, the most unforgettable nights are the ones filled with silence. If you were here now, would you lie back on that snowfield? Would you close your eyes? And then open them to the dancing sky? And yes, there is art here too. But it isn't permanent. It's meant to melt, to vanish like breath, to remind you that beauty doesn't need to last, to matter. Now imagine this. Steam on your skin. Then steam. Then snow. Then steam again. Your heartbeat racing from contrast. Your thoughts slowed to stillness. Welcome to the rhythm of the midnight ice. Here, when darkness falls, wonder rises. Greenland doesn't go to sleep. It starts to dream. Chapter 7. The People of Ice. Stories beyond the snow? Meeting the people who live where few would dare, and discovering resilience, warmth, and timeless wisdom in Greenland's communities. The houses are brightly colored, reds, yellows, blues, defying the whiteness around them. In the world's vast white quiet, there are voices, there's laughter. And there are people who have never once thought of this land as harsh, because to them, it's home, faces of the Arctic. Meet someone who's never known a city's streetlight, who reads the wind the way others read signs, whose childhood lullabies were sung in a language older than maps. This is not a people removed from the world. This is the world just told from a different direction. Amazing cultural facts. In Greenland, oral storytelling isn't a pastime, it's survival. For generations, knowledge was passed not in books, but around the fire. Lessons about weather, ice, the sea, animals, and also love, loss, the meaning of being still. It's not performance, it's memory. Inherited resilience. They call this the land of ice. But its people burn with a quiet fire. They laugh loudly, love fiercely, and respect the land as if it were a living ancestor. In Greenland, nature isn't something you conquer, it's something you join, with humility, with ceremony. If all you had were stars, snow, and silence, if books burned and screens vanished, what story would you tell? What would you pass on? Could you speak only what truly mattered? Tradition as luxury. Here, the finest luxury isn't bought. It's inherited. It's passed from hand to hand, and no two are ever the same. You don't leave Greenland with souvenirs. You leave with symbols. To survive in a place like this is to belong to it. And once you've met the people of ice, a part of you always will. Chapter 8. Icebergs and Infinity. Sailing the frozen frontier. Exploring Greenland's majestic ice-choked seas by water. An elegant passage through solitude. Power and ancient beauty. If you want to understand Greenland, you must follow the water, because this land is not static, it moves. With every tide, every glacier crack, every drifting piece of time, called ice, the ice that floats. Some of these floating giants are over 10,000 years old. They calve from ancient glaciers with thunderous groans. And then they drift across oceans, across eras. No two icebergs are alike. Each one a sculpture, each one melting poetry. Amazing facts from the sea. Some icebergs from here have floated as far as the Atlantic. In fact, Scientists believe the infamous iceberg that sank the Titanic may have begun its journey off Greenland's coast. Think of that, a block of ancient snow, floating past continents. Its story untold. Its silence, vast. Luxury in motion. You don't chase the Arctic. You glide into it, carefully, respectfully, with eyes open and hearts a little full. Out here, luxury is the freedom to drift, to be surrounded by nothing and everything. Encounters with the wild. And then, without warning, a giant emerges, not for applause, but because it can. You came seeking peace, but what you found. If you stood at the bow right now, would you lean into the cold wind? Would you close your eyes and listen to the creak of distant ice? Would you let go? This is what explorers used to dream of, the place beyond the map, where legends lived and something older begins, where the world ends. And you're here, not to conquer it, but to feel it. You don't travel through Greenland's waters. You drift through memory, through time, through the very breath of the planet. Chapter 9. Silence as Sound. Mindfulness in the Arctic. Greenland as sanctuary, where silence is not absence but presence, a place where time slows and the spirit listens. Here's the truth they never told you about silence. It's not quiet. It's full. In Greenland, silence becomes a sound you feel, a language only the soul understands. The Arctic mind. We race through life calendars, screens, clicks, but Greenland slows you down. It makes you still. You begin to notice things, the rhythm of your breath, the sound of snow compressing under your foot, the echo of your own thoughts fading. Amazing facts about Arctic silence. Greenland is home to some of the quietest places on Earth. Studies show that in parts of the Arctic, you can go miles without hearing a single man-made sound. That silence, it changes you. Literally, your heart rate slows, your stress chemicals drop, your awareness sharpens. And for once, you hear yourself. the luxury of nothing. Luxury isn't always gold and glitter. Sometimes it's absence. No pings, no meetings, no noise, just you and the earth, unfiltered. In this frozen cathedral, every tone feels sacred because there's nothing competing. What would happen if you just stopped right now? Scrolling, no answering, just breathing. You might find you weren't missing anything. You were missing nothing. It's nightfall and stillness. And as night returns, you begin to trust the quiet, to let it in, to realize this silence has been waiting for you all along. Greenland doesn't ask anything of you. It simply offers space to remember who you were before the noise and who you might still become. Chapter 10. The Return. Leaving, but not leaving. The bittersweet farewell. How Greenland stays with you long after you've left its frozen embrace. Every journey must come to an end, but some places never leave you. Greenland is not just a destination, it's a feeling, a quiet conversation between earth and soul. You came here seeking wonder, but you leave carrying it. In the way the wind brushes your cheek, in the silence that lingers in your mind. Carrying Greenland within. You can't take Greenland with you in a suitcase, but it travels in other ways, in your memories, in your breath, in the way you learn to listen to silence, wherever you are. Interactive reflection. So, when you return to your everyday life, what part of Greenland will you keep alive? The quiet, the wonder, the courage to be still, visual, a deep breath, a calm smile, the invitation to return. One day, you'll come back, not because you need to escape, but because some places become a part of your story. The stories are never finished. Until then, carry Greenland in your heart and let its silence speak to you always. Want more? Good, because the next destination is pure magic and no one's talking about it yet.